Hola guys and girls, and welcome to a new Digimon Factual Meta Tier List video, and this time we are gonna look at the upcoming meta game of the BT04 format, which will be hitting us in like around 2 weeks. Don't really know when I will upload this, but around that time. And yeah, similar to my 1.5 meta prediction video, I did do the same approach as last time, which was just me looking through the decks which topped in local events and some bigger events in Japan during the time where they had the card pool, which we will be getting once BT4 is here. So that means I looked in the Digimon meta deck. The link will be in the description, but there's basically a website which tracks all the decks which topped. Not all the local, but for a lot of events. And I looked at the time frame from the 18th December 2020 to the 26th February 2021, because that's the time where Japan had the cards we will have once we can buy BT4 displays and boosters and all this stuff in the new starter decks. All the shenanigans they had at that point, so yeah, it's a pretty good indicator for that. I just counted them basically. I designated an archetype for every one of these decks, so some of them are, for example, I don't know, Yellow Shine Greymon would be one archetype, for example, and stuff like that. So I categorized all the decks and then I counted them, and then once you top 5 times in total, that's a cutoff point, I put you on the list, and then I just ranked them according to how often they topped. And yeah, that's how this deck meta tier list is designed. There's a total of 206 decks. One key difference we have in this they had in their meta in Japan compared to our meta game we will have is of course the restricted list for green. So back in the day, this where I took the data from is the time where Hidden Potential Discovered and the level 5 Argomon were not limited to 1 yet. That of course skews the meta list prediction a little bit more in favor of green, as it probably should be. But yeah, you just have to take this into account when you look at the list I will show you soon. When it will probably green will be lower, so there will be differences, but it still is a nice indicator, nice data-based tier list. We can like make predictions on what will be strong and what not. Of course, like I said, it's not really what the future will bring, but yeah, more like data-based prediction, which I, like last time, prefer a whole lot more than just the opinion-based. Opinion-based tier list. That's just an opinion piece. We want actual factual data to back up our opinions. So yeah, what I do actually is just show there's like no opinion involved. Basically, it's just the data. But yeah, let's start from the bottom. In the D tier, we have 4 decks in total there. 2 of them topped 5 times. That means they topped in. Wait, let me quick maths. Quick maths should show on screen already. That means they topped 2% of the time. Around 2%, I'm not doing decimal points here, which are, for one, the purple deck of Anubismon Zombie Aggro and the green deck of Hercules Kabuterimon Aggro. So 2 aggro decks from the respective colors down here. Purple, of course, still BT4, not the strongest color. Most decks will be more in the lower part of the tier list, but of course green will have some more powerful decks later on in the list. Like some people analyzed already or made predictions. Once BT4 drops, it will be a more control-heavy metagame. So it makes sense that the more aggressive decks, like these 2, for example, are more lower down in the process. Then 2 other decks we have down here in the tier list are top 6 times in total, and that reaching that to a top percentage of 3%. The top percentage, by the way, in case it's not clear, that means from the 206 decks which topped in that time frame, 2% of them, or in this case 3% of them, were this deck. So theoretically, if this would be like a perfect prediction, it would mean if you play this deck, you have a 3% chance of winning the tournament. That's basically how you could see it. If it would be perfect. Like I said, it's not perfect. There's a lot of factors which go into that. Of course, skill level of the player, skill level of the other contestants, draw luck, and all the shenanigans. But yeah, just so you know what the percentage means there. But yeah, 2 other decks are 2 purple decks sadly as well. For one, we got Lucemon Control and Purple Metagarurumon. Purple Metagarurumon is has a nice little trivia fact, which is that of course is the black Metagarurumon promo for purple. which Japan actually got before BT4 dropped. So there was a time frame when people were playing Black Metal Gurumon before BT4 was out. And in that scenario, Purple Metal Gurumon was actually a pretty big deck. A lot of people played a pretty strong deck. But then once BT4 dropped, it's not that interesting anymore. A lot of people switched their decks to something else, but still relevant enough to be in the D tier right here. Like last time, just because you're in the D tier doesn't mean you're a bad deck. These are all meta decks. Like, all the decks right here are decks you will see in the meta most likely. Some, of course, are a bit more stronger than others, but yeah, like I said, there's a lot of other decks which didn't make the list, which I would compare more as off-meta decks or something like that. But yeah, Lucemon control, like I said, the first control list in the deck. Lucemon, of course, gets play in yellow decks as well, and I just think since, especially BT4, yellow is just overall a stronger color than purple, just to the rest of the cards they have in the pool. Control options in yellow are just more successful than the similar deck approach, but with in purple. So that's why I think it's down here. Then we go up to the C tier. We have 4 decks in total of them, all of them with the same top percentage and same topping number, which is they top 7 times, which means they top 4% of the time. And yeah, there are some decks you definitely know from the last metagame already, so let's go over them first. First of all, we got Red Omnimon, dropped from my last meta list. If you remember, if you watched that video, it was like the king #1 with a lot of range to go from the bottom. This time it dropped down to C tier with only 4% drop, definitely a big drop there. But yeah, that is already a good example on how my last, like what was not, or like where my prediction went wrong in the last video, because last video, of course, Omnimon was by far the king, the metagame in Japan. But as we saw in our metagame, it was good, a deck for sure, but it was definitely not the king, not as far. So it's definitely up there, like tier 1, tier 2, around there. It topped a good amount of times in big tournaments. But in others won as well. It's not like he's the only thing you saw Red Omnimon. So yeah, that's a good example. Probably plays into the fact that green was very prevalent as well, and red is a good counter to green. That's why red gets played more often. And yeah, in our meta, of course, green was not that prevalent since we already had the limitations in this. But yeah, Red Omnimon down here. Then what we have down here as well is Rookie Rush, which gets another color actually. Most Rookie Rushes are, of course, green and blue as they were in our metagame, but now purple Rookie Rush actually gets seen. Play, because a lot of the cards which we got in the purple starter deck are very nice for Rookie Rush playstyles, and of course stuff like Night Raid always work well for Rookie Rush. So yeah, purple Rookie Rush decks definitely making a big jump in popularity as well there. And yeah, we will never get rid of Rookie Rush, very aggressive deck. But like I already mentioned, since it's a more control heavy metagame, these aggressive decks are more likely on the bottom part of the ladder, like for example Rookie Rush is a prime example of the aggressive deck. And then another deck we have right here, which already was played in our BT 1.5 meta, is Ragnarlordmon. You see black variants, you see red variants as well, you see mixed variants there. Most of the decks were red, I think, out of the 7 decks which topped, but I decided to just pool them all together because on themselves, I don't think they made the cut to 5 decks, so I thought let's just make Ragnarlordmon 1 deck because they do play very similar. Even if you play red or black, they do play very similar. You want to get your Ragnarlordmon and then you want to start hitting the security and be protected by blockers, all this good stuff. But yeah, that's here in the C tier as well with 4% top percentage and 7 tops in total. And then we got the first new deck which actually gets comes into play, which has a new boss Digimon, a new level 7 Digimon which we get, which probably most people are very excited for in the BT4 set, which is Chaosmon. In this case, it is Chaosmon Turbo Yellow. So this deck is similar to Omnimon Turbo, which we saw in BT1, which was a pretty strong deck, just getting as fast as possible to your level 7 Digimon and then go to town on the opposing Digimon and security. This deck works in similar regard, but it's with yellow, where you try to get to your Chaosmon as fast as possible and then win from there. Like I said, not as successful as maybe other Chaosmon decks. Like I said, every yellow deck plays a few Chaosmons here and there. These are the decks though which go full on the 4 Chaosmon and very cheap evolution lines. And yeah, same percentage with 4% and 7 tops in total. And that means with these 4 we can jump next to the B tier, where we have 2 decks. One with a 5% top ratio, which means 11 tops in total, which is a familiar deck already as well, which is yellow Shangreymon. Like I mentioned, yellow is a very strong color once BT4 drops, and after BT5 for sure as well. Like yellow will be the king for a while, which definitely after BT1 not many people imagined it would be. But yeah, Shangreymon was already a very strong deck in our current metagame, one of the best for sure. Like you can argue where it lands, but it's definitely in the top 3, top 4, somewhere around there. Some people think it's number 1, maybe others rate other decks more there. But yeah, it just gets more tools to play with. For example, Chaosmon, a very good example of that. That means Shangreymon is not the end of your evolution line. You just put it still has value there, barring attacking, because it can still be a target for your Chaosmon to put on there to get even more value out of your level 6 Digimon. So yeah, that's why it's still very popular, even though usually the old meta decks get kind of out of the way for the newer ones. But yeah, still in the B tier, still very high up there. And yeah, that's the yellow Shangreymon for you. Another deck in the B tier, which is definitely one of the strongest decks. I think it's definitely in top 4 as well. Like I said, some argue where it lands, but yeah, deck we know already from 1.5 as well, which is Imperialdramon, the blue Imperialdramon for sure. Some people play with a green base, some people play with a blue base. They both have different pros and cons. I personally prefer the blue Imperialdramon, currently my favorite deck to play with. And yeah, it is actually from the aggressive decks, it is the highest rated one, because with the spirits, especially in blue, it gets some new tools to play with, which buffs us a little bit more and makes sure that it's still relevant even after we got new cards from a new set and the metagame shifts to a more controlled playstyle. So yeah, spoilers, Imperialdramon from the aggressive decks we have, it is the highest ranked one, more from the aggro deck spectrum. So yeah, if you're aggro player fan, the blue Imperialdramon probably should be the deck you want to pick up, or just make some funky other deck lists and show them what you can do. But yeah, just looking at the metagame from back there, blue Imperialdramon definitely is the way to go if you want to play a more aggressive deck. But yeah, now we hop into the A tier, and here we have 2 decks, one new one we didn't saw play before, and one archetype which definitely got a pretty big buff compared to BT 1.5. And let's start with the lower ranked one, which is at 7% top ratio, which means 15 tops in total, which is Megazoo. Megazoo got another color to play with. Usually you see like the Megas being from black and red, which are the Ragnarlords mainly. But now with the Chaosmons, and of course Onmon as well, but now with Chaosmons you get another level 7 Digimon, which made Megazoo just very, very adaptive to the format, like what you expect to think. You can play a more black-red approach, more yellow approach, more blue approach. There are a lot of level 7 Digimon suddenly, and basically all the colors, I think all the colors, right? Yeah, I think all the colors have at least one level 7 Digimon to evolve into, which basically means in Megazoo you can cater to your needs, to your preferred playstyles, or to counter what you expect to find in your local tournaments. And yeah, that's why we saw a lot of Megazoo. That's why I decided to go with the 4-color combination here. Some play purple as well, but definitely blue, red, black, and yellow are the most seen colors for Megazoo. And I decided for Magnadramon as the title for Megazoo, because that was the one constant throughout all the decks. Like I said, there's a lot of ways you can build your Megazoo after BT4 drops, but Magnadramon is probably the Mega you saw close to all of them, since still you do want to have the recovery, and it's now a target as well for level 7 Chaosmon, so it definitely sees more play there as well. So yeah, that's Megazoo for you. Definitely, at least in my local area, rose in popularity quite a bit in the last few weeks. And yeah, I expect it to rise even more once we get all the cards from BT4 to play with. And then the next deck we see right here is one of the top 3 top decks, but I had to put it 1 tier below because other 2 decks are just way higher up there. With a 10% top ratio and 20 tops in total, it's green Chaosmon Turbo. Green, of course, it has the cheapest evolution lines. Of course, the Turbo variant of a level 7 Digimon is going to be in green the most home. You have the cheapest evolution line you can get to your Chaosmon even faster than with yellow, for example. And yeah, just make sure to smack the opponent. Of course, you can play both Chaosmons there as well, because even the Baldo Arm and the regular Chaosmon both share green as evolution source. Yeah, in the yellow one you can only play the Baldo Arm, but it's definitely, like, it depends. I think the yellow-green one is usually seen as the stronger one, but the black-green one definitely has its use as well. So yeah, and in green you can play with both of them, which just gives you extra versatility. to play around with. And yeah, you still play Hercules Commentary one day, you sometimes still play other control elements there. But yeah, green Omnimon Turbo. If you want to play an Omnimon Turbo deck, I think green is definitely the stronger color to go with than with yellow. But don't you worry, yellow players, because there's another deck in town which definitely will still make sure that we will have a very good time at tournaments or just casual play. But that's the A tier, these two decks here. Now we go into the two S tier decks, the two decks which you see a lot. By the way, of course, the green Chaos Turbo is definitely that high up there due to the hidden potential discovered as well. You can potentially get to your Chaos Mon. Does hidden potential work with Chaos Mon? I actually don't know because it's a white Digimon. But either way, it just makes sure that you can Digivolve very quickly with your hidden potential discovered. Your level 6 Digimon will close to always be free. So that's why this of course is high up there as well. Like I mentioned, don't forget all these green decks which are very high will drop lower. How far they drop, that's of course still something to argue about, and we will have to see. But it's definitely not, we won't be surprised if they drop in popularity compared to the tier list you see in front of you right here. But yeah, now to the S tier. Of course, we got two decks there too, and one lower ranked one which is at 15%. So quite a big jump from 10 to 15%. Usually we have like these 2 to 3% jumps in between decks. But yeah, 15% top percentage, 30 tops in total, which is green Nidhoggmon Control. So this is basically the evolution of Ceresmon Control. Now we play Nidhoggmon Control. It plays very similar. You still want to do your Digiburst and stuff, but now your boss Digimon to win the game with is not Ceresmon anymore. It is Nidhoggmon. Some play even Ceresmon still. They play both of them together, but Nidhoggmon definitely still the big bad boss, which everyone will have to deal with once BT4 drops. And yeah, like I said, due to a hidden potential discovered being not limited, you can definitely evolve into this for 0 memory cost, and then just go to town the opponent, get a very strong when Digivolve Digiburst effect going, and just win from there and control the board, control the security, and take the win for you. But there's actually still one deck which is ranked higher than that. One deck which just destroyed everything, and it's not a green deck, so it's not limited, so it probably will still be very strong. 18% top ratio with 37 tops in total is yellow Wargreymon. So like I already mentioned, yellow will be king after BT4 drops. In total, there are 3 yellow decks in this list and 3 green decks as well. Yeah, 3 green and 3 yellow decks, but like I already mentioned, green got nerfed, yellow not yet. And many people expect to get for yellow to take a hit, because even after BT5, the Lord Nightmon deck is still the strongest currently out there. So many people expect there to be some limits on yellow as well, which might be affecting the Western or European or American, like the non-Japan meta as well. So yeah, but as of now, as it stands, with the card pool cards we will have and will get, yellow will most likely be the king of the meta game. So yellow Wargreymon will put in some good work in your local tournaments or casual plays. So yeah, be prepared for that. And that's the full tier list right here. We do have a lot more decks than last time. A lot more decks made the cut with 5 decks, so that's always good. We have a lot of different decks to play around with. There's not an as big difference from the number 1 spot to the number 2 spot as in the 1.5 meta snapshot I made prediction, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm excited for BT4, because like you see, we have like, what's that, 10 decks in total, which are competitive, which do top on a regular basis. And that's a pretty nice metagame if you ask me. Of course, we will still have to see how things play out with green, like how badly are they affected by the limitations on hidden potentials covered mainly. I think that's the bigger one than compared to Agumon. And yeah, how prevalent will yellow actually be in our metagame. But that's the tier list I did create for you. Of course, let me know in the comments. Were there any surprises for you? Do you disagree? What would your rank be like? I mean, disagreeing is a bit difficult because this is not my opinion necessarily. This is just based on data. So but what a big surprise for you? What would you rank differently? Did you play around already, like in some simulator or something, play around with BT4 cards and made some different experiences than what you see here? Let me all that know in the comments down below. And I personally, I will probably still playing Imperatormon because it's still a relevant deck. As of now, it's my most favorite one, but I definitely will be diving into green as well, because green and blue are my 2 favorite colors, so definitely gonna play around with that. So, but I think I want to try out. To be fair, I would try both Chaosmon and the Nidhogg Control. Yellow, I traded all my yellow cards away when Shinegearmon got popular, so I could play all the other decks. So it probably will be a while for me to explore the yellow archetype. But yeah, that's why for Chaosmon, I'm the most excited personally for. Chaosmon just opens a lot of possibilities for a lot of different decks. But yeah, that's all for me. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Hit me on Twitter, Facebook, all links in the description, and I will see you another time. Ciao.